Welcome back. Let's go ahead and shut that music off before I get copyright striked again. Welcome back, Mr. Cutthroat Pat Riley. Dare I say, the OG Godfather is back?
You know, if you're not on the court playing against Boston or on the court playing against the New York Knicks, you should keep your mouth shut.
Is Pat Riley back? Is Pat Riley back? What? No? Okay. Yeah, go ahead and leave. Just like Tyler Herro is about to leave. I don't know. Listen, we're going to get into that as Pat Riley basically did his end of the year presser today. And there was not a lot of interesting quotes, but there was that one about Jimmy Butler. And that's kind of what I want to start with today. Now, let's say first things first, right? Get this straight whenever you listen to a Pat Riley presser. Maybe you're a new Heat fan. Maybe you haven't been around that long, right? The number one rule when listening to a Pat Riley presser is Pat Riley, like my good friend Royal A. Shepherd, is a liar to the highest degree. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Most of the time, it's in a strategic way, right? Because if he has intentions of trading a player, then obviously he's going to want to talk up that player. Now, that being said, I don't necessarily think Pat Riley was lying or insincere when talking about Jimmy Butler today. And really, to a broader sense, we could say not even just Jimmy Butler, but the word of the day was availability. Because there was 1,000 quotes today in which Pat Riley talked about the availability of players, right? He called Tyler Herro
fragile.
He said if Jaime Jaquez wasn't hurt, he would have played 82 games.
So in Jaime, you know, if he had not gotten hurt, he would have played 82 games.
Isn't that how it typically works with most guys? So is that Pat trying to insinuate that Jimmy and Tyler are soft? I don't know. And then there was obviously a big topic of discussion with Jimmy Butler's extension, which when Pat Riley was pretty bluntly asked about it, he said, hey, if Jimmy plays more games, we're willing to pay him. But at this point in time, we can't commit that kind of money to a guy who is not really reliable. And obviously that is something that I agree with. So we'll go back to the quote on Jimmy Butler that we started this whole video with, right? The whole, if he's not on the court, he should keep his mouth shut, right? And I gotta be honest, I am as big a Jimmy Butler fan as it comes, but I do agree with Pat Riley when it comes to this. Now, I thought it was pretty lame for Jimmy to say that, and for context, he was out and about at the F1 in Miami and whatnot, and he was stopped on the street and they just kind of asked him about it, and he was laughing when he said it, so he was sort of trolling, right? But I thought it was kind of lame from the aspect that he declined the postseason media availability / exit interviews. He declined to do that, but then he's still out on the streets talking. And the reason that I kind of have a problem with that is because I feel like if he's going to be that guy all season that's, you know, loud and keep saying the Heat are going to win a championship, I'm going to do this, we're going to do that, and then you don't do it, you fall brutally short, and you get hurt, you can't even play, I do think you at least owe it to the media and the fans to sit out there and give an explanation. It almost feels to me like he's ducking the smoke in a sense to avoid that and avoid the difficult questions about why did he get hurt? Why did he coast in the regular season? How much, you know, is he going to demand an extension? I think it's kind of soft of him to avoid the media and avoid answering those questions. And same goes for Tyler Herro, right? Because of the guys that missed that postseason interviews, it was Tyler, it was Jimmy, it was Kevin Love, who I get, like he's been there, done that. Terry Rozier, I get. Pat Riley literally said today that Rozier is in a neck brace. So that sounds pretty serious. He said it was a spinal injury, so I am concerned about Terry Rozier, but excuse me. They also said that Terry should be okay. So I won't speculate on that. We'll do with that information what we will, which is cross that bridge when we get there next season. But anyways, it was those four guys, and then Nikola Jovic, because apparently he didn't even know it existed. And then I think like Alondas Williams and Josh Richardson also missed, but whatever, those guys got other stuff going on. Jimmy Butler is the guy on this team, and Tyler Herro also wants to be the guy. Those guys should have been there at the end of season availability, and they weren't. And the guy who was there to answer all the tough questions was Bam Adebayo, and he's got a lot of respect for me for that. And I guess as far as today with Pat Riley's press conference, Pat had nothing but glowing things to say as Bam Adebayo, as expected, because what can you not say about Bam? He was there this year. He was elite, the best in the league at defense as always, and offense was pretty decent as well. We saw improvements in his game, and then coming into the playoffs, he was really the only person on the team that showed up on a consistent basis offensively. Nothing to say bad about him. But there is clearly some frustration between Pat Riley and Jimmy Butler. So that begs a lot of questions. A lot of people said, kind of what I was saying, that, oh, he's being harsh on Jimmy because he likes Jimmy. We know Jimmy's a dog. We know he typically reacts. Well, I guess he could be unpredictable when it comes to that, because in the past, people would say, oh, Jimmy is, a bad teammate. Jimmy's a locker room cancer. Jimmy, it just likes drama. I disagree with that. I think Jimmy likes winning, and he likes guys that work hard and commit everything to the ultimate goal, which is winning a championship. And in his past situations, he did not have guys like that. He was dealing with Ben Simmons, and he was dealing with Karl Anthony Towns, and all those young guys on the Chicago Bulls, right? And that's why when it comes to the Miami Heat, and he's in that Heat culture, and there is an entire roster full of guys, really from the bottom of organization to all the way with the top, it's guys that have that Heat culture. We know what that is, and Jimmy loves that, right? So I don't think in this case Jimmy is the type that's going to hear these words from Pat and be like, oh, I'm mad, I don't like being disrespected, I'm going to demand a trade. Because that was the other end of the explanation for this, right? What a lot of people were thinking. They were like, oh, Pat Riley wants to get rid of Jimmy Butler. He needs an excuse to do it. So instead of saying, I want to trade Jimmy Butler and lowering his trade value, he's going to talk trash, I guess, about Jimmy in these press conference, piss Jimmy off, force Jimmy to demand a trade, and that's how you're able to recoup the most of his trade value, right? That's kind of that one aspect. A lot of people were even saying it reminded them of when he was talking about Kyle Lowry last year. He was saying, oh, Kyle Lowry needs to get in shape. What do you want, Pangu? Pat Riley was talking about Kyle Lowry's shape and all this stuff, and obviously we learned that there was some tension between both those parties, and things didn't appear to end all that well with Kyle Lowry's tenure here, right? But I think it is stupid to compare Pat Riley's feelings towards Kyle Lowry, who literally did nothing here, to Jimmy Butler, who quite literally put this franchise back on the map and rescued us from obscurity, right? Rescued us from those horrible years of the Dion Waiters and James Johnsons and such. So I don't think Pat Riley is coming from a negative, well, he is coming from a negative place here, but not a place as things are bad between Jimmy and Pat. More of a place as, listen, Jimmy, we got to be real with each other. That's what I love about you. That's what you love about me. Let's be real with each other, right? So I kind of think that's where Pat Riley's coming from here. And hey, he said, if you want that extension, we got a year before we got to worry about that. Now, personally, I just posted a video about this. I also hope they kind of wait a year, just see how it goes before extending Jimmy. But I do think he ultimately gets his money regardless of what Pat Riley said today. Now, the other main topic of conversation that we're going to be talking about all offseason, I'm sure, is the boy Tyler Herro. But before we get into that, you got to hear from a word from our sponsor.
Hey, it's me, Pat Riley, and I've woken up from my slumber because I realized you didn't like the video and subscribe yet. So make sure to do that for me so I can get some rest. Thank you.
So y'all subscribe for me. We're on the grind to 5K subs before the start of next season. You may think you're subscribed and you're not, so just check down below and make sure. I do greatly appreciate it. But anyways, Tyler Herro today, Pat Riley obviously, as we said earlier, called him fragile, but he did have a lot of nice things to say about him outside of that. Said he's a very hard worker, said he's a starter in this league. And this is where it comes into me saying that Pat Riley's a liar, because anytime he speaks highly of a player, that means he gone. He trying to build up that trade value. And we did hear the same things about Tyler Herro last year. And I think potentially the Heat did try to trade Tyler Herro, but nobody wanted him, right? Especially with the whole Joe Cronin situation and him being petty. I just think guys didn't want Tyler Herro. Now, we may run into the same problem this offseason. And if Tyler Herro's on the team come October, that doesn't mean Pat didn't try to trade him, because I'm sure that he is trying to. It just means no one wanted him. But anyways, these comments today and these positive things about Tyler is telling me that Pat is okay moving him, because I do believe these words are him just trying to up his trade value. The really interesting point here, though, is Pat actually threw a little bit of shade, I guess, at Udonis Haslem, because about a week ago, UD was on First Take. He was looking good, all buttoned up and with a suit and tie, And he has said that Tyler Herro is probably best served as a sixth man, something that you guys know I agree with. But today in Pat Riley's press conference, he said Tyler Herro's a starter, and he said Udonis needs to remember who he works for. And he probably shouldn't be on national television talking down their assets, which again is another reason to fully believe Pat wants to trade Tyler, because Tyler Herro obviously has more trade value if he's viewed as a starter. So I suppose it doesn't help that UD's on national television saying he should be coming off the bench, but hey, it's UD. He's going to speak his mind, and I respect him for that. And obviously, I agree with his point as well. So if the Heat can't trade Tyler Herro, if there's nothing else they can do, if they don't trade Jimmy, which I didn't even mention, Pat was firm today saying that Jimmy Butler will not be traded, which I believe him and Bam will be looked at as untouchable. I do believe that. But all that being said, does that mean that the Heat are going to run it back? Well, Pat said some comments today that may make you believe that, because he essentially said there's maybe only 3 guys out there that he'd go all in for, which great. So obviously, who is that? Luka, Jokic, and Anthony Edwards. So you're not going to get those guys, meaning you're not going to get no one? Is that what he's trying to say? I don't know. But he also did elaborate on that a little bit and said, hey, we're not going to put all our assets out just to get marginally better. And this is the same topic we've been having for the last several years now, right? Because this year you got your ass kicked. Last year you went to the NBA Finals. So maybe if you would have gotten marginally better, that would have been enough to put you over the top. But instead you decided to do nothing, and then you get your ass kicked in the first round. So I don't necessarily agree with what Pat is saying here, because you got Jimmy Butler. He's going to be 35 years old. You only have maybe a couple years left to prime Jimmy Butler, if that. So you have, if you want to win in the Jimmy Butler window, you have to commit. And committing means going in on these marginal improvements, even if that's all it is. Because I'll tell you this, a marginal improvement is better than doing nothing. Even if it means trading Nikola Jovic and Jaime Jaquez, who may be great players 4 years from now. If it means trading those guys for a big man and a starting point guard that could help you win a championship right now, then that's something that you do. And Pat Riley, although I say today that cutthroat Pat is back, he has had these tendencies to want to hold on to these younger guys and these draft picks over these last couple of years that Pat Riley of old would not have done. He got rid of Lamar Odom. He got rid of Caron Butler. He sent all those guys away to bring in Shaquille O'Neal. And I just hope that if push comes to shove, and Donovan, if the Cavs get their ass kicked by the Celtics in the second round, because the Magic could have handled business for us, here we are. This is what Heat fandom is now, rooting for the Magic now. Anyways, if the Celtics do and should kick the Cavs' ass, and Donovan Mitchell decides to ask for a trade as he'll be, an expiring contract next year, and the Cavs look to move him, if the Cavaliers say, we'll send D. Mitch to Miami, you just got to send us Tyler, Jaime, Jovic, and all your picks. You better say yes, Pat Riley. Because as much as I love Jovic and Tyler and Jaime, as much as the rest of those guys are not going to help you win a championship right now. So you got to decide what you're going to do. Because this whole bridging timeline thing where you try to win now and also have assets for the future, it doesn't work. And it's not going to work. You got to pick a direction and stick with it. And that's just kind of how I feel about everything. So that's pretty much all I got to say about today's press conference and everything like that. There's certainly been a lot going on, and we'll have a ton of stuff going on the rest of the offseason. So make sure y'all subscribe so you don't miss it, and like the video, because I do appreciate all the support a lot. Let me know y'all comments down below if you think Jimmy Butler is gone, and your other takeaways from Pat Riley's press conference today. I'll be reading all the comments and hearting my favorites. And until then, I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.
Look, pull up in your city tryna get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.